Well, Mr. Cancer came for me again today. Just a couple hours ago. Thing about having lived through a couple of different cancers is you develop a skill set. Not so much magical thinking about anything. People want to always make logical sense of things. And I feel completely differently about that. I like to use the word intuition. Some kind of superpower of intuition. I've always had it since I was a kid. And you can call it whatever you want to call it. Superstition, luck, coincidence, whatever. I remember this one specific time. To get off the cancer thing for a second. Remember this one specific time. I used to drive my car out to this place called Forest Falls. And Forest Falls was, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 miles from where I lived. It was up in the, I think it was San Gorgonio Mountains. I don't remember at this point. But anyway, you park your car and then you hike about a mile up this trail, across a wash, a big old wash. Then you came to some waterfalls, a waterfall, which one of my now deceased dumb shit friends and I tried to climb one time. We got about halfway up and looked at each other and said, "Uh-oh." Well, this is another fine mess you've gotten me into, boo-boo. Took us hours to come back down. That only took us a few minutes to go up. Rest in peace, Leonard Pong. I love you. Have more fun with you. So anyway, back to the intuition thing. So one time I went up in midwinter, and I used to like to go up and sit under the waterfalls and read. And of course, being a young guy, very impressionable, you try to read all the classics. So I was working my way through Emerson. And I had like a first edition, Ralph Waldo Emerson. What was the name of it? I don't remember now. But anyway, I go up to the falls. It's a midwinter. It's fucking snow. Somebody made it snow, and there's a bunch of snow everywhere. So I drive the 50 miles or whatever it is out there to go to my favorite place to sit and read some Ralph Waldo under the waterfall. And the road is snowed in, snowed out, whatever you want to call it. So I just got a bunch of speed up and I rammed my car into the snowbank. I've done that a few times in my life. It doesn't always work out well because sometimes shit's hiding under the snowbank. I remember ripping the exhaust system off my Audi doing that one time in a party up in Big Bear. But anyway, I did it this day and it was okay. It worked out. Got the car pretty well buried in the snowbank and There were some other cars buried in the snowbank, and I thought, well, that'll be okay. And then I hopped out and put my little backpack on, my jacket and so on, and started hiking the mile up to the waterfall. Not an unusual trip for me. I did this a lot. I used to like to read a lot. And I get up there, and I am sitting there, back against the rock ledge, waterfall to my right, about, 30, 40 feet, whatever. Just, even in the winter, when everything was snowed out, it was still full flow. It was, and there was a spray. And every once in a while I had to, wipe my face and try to keep the book shielded because it was a first edition. But I'm sitting there leaning up against that wall, reading Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I think at the moment I was reading that essay on self-reliance, which it's pretty good, but don't take it too seriously, Ask for help when you need it. Getting too self-reliant is a fool's mission. At least I know that at this point in life. Primarily, self-reliance. Do everything you can. But then when you need some help, and that's the razor's edge, How do you know when you can't really do it yourself and you actually need to ask for help? Well, you don't know that until you push those boundaries, limits, so on. And maybe none of us ever do need to ask for help. But boy, it sure makes it easy if you have people who can help you. But it makes you dependent and makes you weak. So there's the dilemma. Anyway, I think I was reading that essay, sitting there leaning back against the stone wall, 30, 40 feet from the waterfall. It's over there, flowing pretty heavily. It's probably noon. It's overcast. Doesn't look like there's any reason for the sun to come out. The sun has just given up for the day and gone home. And all of a sudden, something occurred to me. Holy shit, they're towing my car. Now, I do not believe in hocus pocus magic. I could see somebody towing my car from, a mile away, up this mountain pass through the snow, blah, blah, blah. But what I will call intuition about that particular situation that day was just a mere integration of facts. As I was driving in, I'm sure I realized that there was a problem on the road. Now, people live up there, so they need to get back and forth. And so I'm sure there were some signs that said, please be respectful, park appropriately, blah, blah, blah. You will be towed, blah, blah, blah. Probably that's just my imagination. But I'm sure there was some very specific stuff about make sure you don't park on our fucking road, asshole, because we need to get in and out from our houses. And you will be towed. So I probably saw all that stuff. Just didn't think about it, didn't process it. Just went on about my way, doing what I want to do. And it's kind of the way we live life, right? Like, like, oh, I want this. I want this. I want this. I want this now. And you miss all the important information while you're so focused on yourself. About things you could have done better. So many of which would have benefited someone else other than you. So anyway, my intuition kicked in, and I threw the books back in my backpack, put on my jacket. Used to sit there without the jacket just to be really cold, just to experience, fucking frozen madness while sitting near the waterfall in winter, midwinter, fucking cold. I bet it was 20 degrees up there, something like that. But, those are experiences that I sought out, and I still tried now and then. So anyway, I threw on my jacket, books in the backpack on the back, and then I started running full speed through the snow, downhill, through the pass that led to the waterfall and across the wash. And when I got out of the pass and I was about to cross this massive fucking wash that looked like, something out of the Ice Age, where the, big iceberg, glacier. Yeah, glacier had carved out a valley or something, but I'm on this side of it. My car is on that side of it on the road, and I'm watching as they're hooking my car up to a tow truck. So I start running knee deep through the snow to get across, and it's a good 10-minute trudge, from one side of the big glacier carved thing. And who knows what made it? Water, glacier, whatever. I didn't get there. They never heard me, and if they did hear me, they probably would have kept doing what they were doing anyway. So I got to that side. Thankfully, I had my wallet and I had a little money. So there goes my car down the street, hooked up to a tow truck. Oh, fuck. It's 20 degrees outside. Whoa, what am I going to do now? I'm miles from civilization. So anyway, I found a payphone, and I called up my buddy, Matt Cabot. His real name, you can't deny it. He actually did hang out with me. As bad as a boy as I have been. When we were kids, when you're kids, you grow up, you have different friends. Now, Matt has gone on to become very successful, very professional, and he probably wishes he never knew me. But anyway, I called him up because he was the one that introduced me to Forest Falls. First time I ever went there was with him. And I fell in love with the place, so I kept going back. But I called him up and I said, "Hey, buddy, I'm out here at Forest Falls, and they just towed my car away." Now, fortunately, he wasn't working or whatever that day, and so he came right out. He picked me up, and we figured out where my car was, and I paid all the fees for everything, which was ridiculous. It's just crazy, the fees they charge you when they tow your car off. It's like, oh, come on, it couldn't have cost $300 just to fucking drive up here and hook the thing up and drive it back to your shop a mile away. $300? Are you kidding me? And then there was the police fees and all that stuff. Where the police fees was, whatever. But good thing is, I had a buddy that I could call and say, hey, remember that place you introduced me to a few years ago? Well, I still go there, and they just towed my car, and I'm stuck up here. Come and get me. And he did. Sometimes you feel really lucky about things. Sometimes you don't. You got chocolate in my peanut butter. Well, I've lived a charmed life. I've had the greatest friends. I've had some pretty good luck. And all the decisions were mine to make. And all the outcomes are mine to, I don't want to say suffer through, but it's going to come down to that now. My decisions, my determinations of the outcomes that affect how my life is going to go. And I've made some dumb decisions over a long period of time now. But not all over. Still have some pretty good friends, and still have a fair income for an old medically retired guy that's got issues, cancer a couple times, and about 7 operations, and exactly the wrong point in your body that you want to have 7 operations at if you want to be able to walk without pain. But I have good days, and I'm sure I will have a lot more good days. So there you have it. I would end this message, which I can't even remember what the original theme was, with a suggestion that all of you read more. And find special places to do it, where nobody is going to bother you. I had to go in midwinter. I had to drive 50 miles to a place where the snow was 3 feet deep, and then hike a mile up a trail to sit next to a waterfall. This great snowway, so I'd have a place to sit just to read Emerson and be able to think about it. Now, clearly, that gives those guys a lot of credit. Emerson and whoever else. And maybe they don't deserve it, but you're not going to know that unless you do it yourself. And then at least you get to compare, And I won't say anything else because I might bias you. If you're younger and you happen to be listening to this, I've had, how many kids have I had? 9,000. I don't know how many kids I've had. But over my teaching career, I try not to bias people. I try to just say, hey, think about this. What do you think about this? So I'll just leave it with that. Find a special place where you have to work to get to so that nobody else is there. And take some books that you think have a message and read them. And then you get to go on to the next phase. Was that worth doing? And should I make that trip again with some new books? But anyway, I would still recommend Ralph Waldo Emerson's Self-Reliance essay. I've read it 100 times. And I disagree with him. Count on the people around you, the people who love you. Ask them for help when you need to. Ralph Waldo Emerson was a recluse. He was a loser. His mind wasn't quite right. But that's for you to decide if you decide to go out into the wilderness and read him 100 times. Love your family.